The Crit Show contains elements of horror, fantasy violence, and adult language. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hey everybody, Rev here. Just a few things before we get into today's episode. If you are listening to this on Wednesday the 21st, the day that it comes out, that means that tonight, or technically this afternoon, and early afternoon for those of you on the West Coast, at 4 p.m. Eastern today over at twitch.tv/The Crit Show, we are doing a subathon. And the goal of this subathon is to get our good buddy JGameZ and myself to go into a haunted house with GoPros on. If you are a follower of our Twitch channel, you know that JGameZ is one of the jumpiest people when it comes to horror things, and he's never been to a haunted house before. I also, pretty famously, not a fan of scary things, even though I run a Monster of the Week show. So yeah, you can join us over there at twitch.tv/The Crit Show. It'll probably go from, I think 4 to 10, maybe 11. We'll see if we can hit that sub goal to get us into this haunted house. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is also Twitch-related. This coming Monday, we've got episode 3 of Lucid Inc. So you can head over there to see what the Lucid Inc. team has to do next as we get rid of the things that go bump in the night inside of people's minds for a modest fee. And if you haven't seen the previous episodes of Lucid Inc., you can find all of those over at our YouTube page, youtube.com/The Crit Show. With that, it's time to get into the episode. Outside of the IPT cruiser, you have all seen this enormous, gray, six-legged bulldog slam the ground. And in your head, you have heard it say, "Get out."
Oh my God. Of the planet or the ship? Are you asking the dog? Yes.
I don't know if it can hear us in here.
Yeah, does the dog answer?
It does not.
Okay, well, despite all of the horrors we have seen, the part of my brain that firmly believes that a dog is my friend no matter what still exists. So I'm going to open the door of the ship and walk out.
Yeah, I was more afraid of this thing before you said that it looked kind of like a dog, and now I'm feeling a little better about this. I don't think Rev would weaponize a dog against us.
I think we're mistaken, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, I think he knows would never hurt a dog, and that's the danger. That's the biggest danger here.
Then I guess we just die.
This is, you know, look, you know how in RPGs, a lot of the times you come up with what your character's flaw is. And I know that it's been really hard to identify any with me, but being too... I almost got a spit take.
This whole table was almost covered in a refreshing squirt.
No, please say that another way.
Nope, keep it.
Jake, you step outside and take 2 points of damage, armor defeating, as an invisible force blows you backwards off of the stairs leading down into the force field that is closed at the back of the hangar.
I hit the force field and I'm like, oh, why? You told me to get out.
Can we still see the dog? Like, did it look like that's what hit Jake or something? You said invisible, right?
Why don't you roll survey the scene?
All right. 10.
You get a hold too.
What happened here?
So yes, this dog, it's a dog now, this dog did not move. You were all watching it out the window as Jake opened the side door and exited. It did not move. It looked in his direction and its eyes flared up, and then Jake tumbled backwards. So it seems like it does not have to physically move to affect people.
Is there something important that I'm missing?
You play that moment back in your mind of the dog's eyes flicking to Jake and them flaring, and you remember seeing that same flare in the dog's eyes come from much lower, again, like mimicked below it, in a space where there isn't anything. And as you focus in on that spot, you can see that there is a shadow being cast on the ground, much, much smaller than that of the dog shadow. And I think you also see the size of the door behind the dog, which you have all come into and gone out of a number of times, much too small for this dog to have come through, but that's the side of the room it's on.
I think I'm pointing this out. Tass, shadow there, beneath it, shoot there.
Sure, whatever. and I'm going to run out the door and shoot where she pointed.
All right, roll act under fire to run out the door that Jake was just blown away from, weapon drawn.
Yeah, fair. 8.
So you'll be able to get out and fire off your weapon, but you're going to take some damage, or the ship is going to take some damage, or you're going to be disarmed after it fires.
Well, I can't think of a single one of my favorite sci-fi horror films where the ship doesn't take damage at some point. So I think that's what we're going to have to do.
All right. You fake coming out the door. Like you put the weapon out, pull back, and then move. And as you go out, this invisible wave crashes into the side of the ship, and it dents. And it dents right by the door, so you think it'd be hard to get a clean hull seal now. And what is your damage on this gun?
4.
And you fire this off. You do take 1 stress from dealing damage, but you don't have to roll inflict harm here because you've already created the opportunity. The blast fires out of your blast cannon and hits where Megan had directed it. And instantly, Kim and Megan inside of the cockpit, you see the image of the dog vanish. And a woman about 6.5 feet tall, silver skin, 4 black eyes, and what looks like a set of gills where her mouth would be, is blown backwards into the door leading into the lobby.
I want to get off this ship and go over to her.
Okay.
And for the record, I don't have a weapon out.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going out to look at the damage on the ship. How bad is this?
It's not great. The damage was taken right by this seal for the door. You would think it would take some time to repair it so that it could exit the atmosphere again.
It is not my imagination that description of this person is like a taller Archie.
Correct.
Cool.
Kim, you come down the stairs and start running towards the woman. What are you doing as you run towards her? Are you, describe this to me.
I have my hands up and I am going towards her saying, I'm so sorry. Are you all right?
She looks up at you and wipes some green blood away from the corner of her mouth and starts to stand kind of shakily. That's not what I was expecting.
Well, we were a little frightened. Sorry. We're not from a world that has creatures that are quite that big. We were scared. I'm so sorry. What were you expecting?
I was expecting you to leave.
Oh. We thought you meant get out, like get off of the ship, get out.
That doesn't explain why he shot me if you thought I was saying get off the ship.
Well, because you blasted one of our friends. I don't know. This just all seems
he
like
wasn't following orders.
Yeah, this all seems like this was just a huge misunderstanding on I was about to say all of our parts, mostly our like my friends and I. I'm so sorry. I'm Kim. We would love nothing more than to leave this planet, but we have a few things that we need to do before we do. Trust me, I'm so excited to leave.
Well, what are you doing here? I got notification that all of the worker units went offline a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, they tried to kill us, so we had to...
Well, sure, you're not supposed to be here. There's no one on the schedule.
Yeah, but I don't think they were trying to kill us because we weren't on the schedule. They were all taken over by some sort of scary scorpion thing. Like they all had stingers in the backs of their neck.
Well, that's what we make here, is scary scorpion things.
Yeah, but is the forge staffed by them?
I don't know. I don't work in the forge.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like walking up to her with the gun in my hand, but not pointed at her. Are you Archie's mom?
All 4 of her eyes narrow. You better explain to me very quickly why you're trespassing on private property.
Because an evil entity from our world is using this planet to run a sort of energy transfer to do a horrible thing, and we're here to destroy it. He's using this facility.
I should note that we're not trying to destroy... Like, we're not here to destroy the facility. We're just trying to locate, 2 more, you're going to laugh when I say this, magic circles.
Oh, you're not here to destroy the facility. That's interesting because my sensors show damage all over the place and all of my dead drones.
Okay. Well, yeah,
They're
that's fair.
not all dead. Number 5 is completely functional and it's still working.
I wonder if he can create the orders by himself.
No, but probably more workers. He didn't have a stinger in his neck, and the rest of them that did all, melted.
Yeah, that was Dion's fault.
Who's Dion?
He was running the forge, and he wholesale tried to murder us, and we took him out, and the stingers that he put in the back of their necks to control all of them disintegrated in some sort of, acid, some sort of, it destroyed all of the ones that had the stinger still in their neck that he put in it.
Wait. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm putting together a lot of pieces. Ma'am, do you run the communications center?
Yes.
Hi. Great. So I'm assuming that you know the people or the drones who work at this entire facility.
No, we're all kept compartmentalized.
Interesting. Okay. I was about to make a logic leap that the reason why you didn't know Dion is because Dion was not supposed to be here.
Oh, wait. You're a telepath.
Yes.
I'm a telepath. Well, I mean, not right now, but normally I am.
She narrows her eyes at you as well.
Well, like back home, I don't have my abilities here on this planet, but normally I do, and it's really cool to meet somebody else who also, yeah.
You don't have them on this planet. Do you get your telepathy from your special yellow sun or something?
No, I get my telepathy from the essence of an entity that was killed.
Drugs.
No.
It does sound like drugs.
It sounds like
It
drugs,
does.
yeah, but no.
But, okay, you're a telepath, so, like, you can read thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. So can you, like, read our thoughts and, like, confirm for yourself that we don't mean you harm and we're here of goodwill? Or we could even take you down to number 5, and you could read through number 5's thoughts, if they have thoughts or, like, a database, I don't know, and, like, confirm what number 5 has experienced, and then, you know, we can all be pleased on the same page?
Or we could just give her the memory pill.
That only works up till when TJ created it.
Ah, fuck.
Or I can feed you a wonderful legend of the hero TJ.
Her eyes begin to sparkle like there is glitter in them.
Ooh.
Tass, this looks familiar to you. And she scans over all 4 of you, and it feels like someone has hit you with a sun lamp. Just very briefly, as her gaze falls across you, it's warm and comforting, and then it goes away. All right, so this facility is housing something that's not the intent of those who hired me, something that's not part of the Alkali Corporation. So I suppose it's all right that you're here, because that would be a problem eventually. What exactly are you looking for now?
We're trying to find another circle, similar to the ones that we found already, and disrupt it and get out.
We had reason to believe that circle might be in the data center.
Why's that?
Well, there's sort of a necessary layout. So we know where 2 of these points were. We can extrapolate where the 3rd might be.
We got a really good chalk drawing in here on the floor if you want to see it.
Oh, also, we have a med bay on our ship. You look kind of banged up. It's the least we could do.
She scowls and starts walking towards the ship.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Mari.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you as well, Megan.
Right. You already know our names because of the... Yep.
Oh, this is great.
And it's not a drug, it's a dead god.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. So you saw everything, not just like the last 24 hours.
Well, that was particularly interesting, so I thought I'd dig a little deeper.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you about it, but I get it. It's easier if you just look.
And she heads up into the ship. So where's this diagram?
I'll lead her back to it.
And she looks at it. So what are these?
We got here's the product testing, and this little square is the forge where number 5 is still chilling, and back under here is where there's one of the circles. And so if we find the circle here at product testing with this one that I found, we sort of triangulate based on the shape of the whole factory situation. And that puts, well, your area kind of the 3rd corner.
That's not where my area is located.
Beans. What?
The communications center is almost 3 times that distance away. It's in the right direction, but it's much further away.
Well, what would be in about this area?
Nothing.
Just like the planet's surface.
Yes.
Well, that doesn't bode well. What if he just found something terrifying on the surface?
Well, not much can survive on the surface. There's very dense molten rain that happens. It's been happening with a very long consistency, actually, right above the communication center.
Forgive me, but you did say not much.
That's true.
Okay.
I was out there for a couple of minutes and I was fine, I think. I seem to be fine.
She grows another head.
As the sentence comes out of her mouth, it starts coming out of both of the mouths.
Wait, before you go off on whatever you were getting ready to say, did you say you knew my son?
Yeah, Yeah, I got knocked out for a little bit, and he showed up in my, dreamscape. My, we call it sort of a mind palace, and he was there and sort of confused and thought it was his house, but it was clearly, my house from childhood. So I don't know if he was just sort of perceiving it differently, if he was also asleep and came into my mind, is what it felt like.
I see. Yes, we had some workers here for quite a number of years, and he would pop into their dreams, but it's been quite a while since it's happened. I'm surprised he didn't mention it to me.
Kids.
Yes.
He was very, very nice.
He is. I'm sorry, go on.
Thank you. Is there anything about that distance in the opposite direction? Like what could make the other point of a triangle?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so I'm just looking at it and walking around it again to see are any one of these points the center point, and I'm thinking about it wrong. Does that make sense?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you don't get that sense from moving around and looking at it, and from the specific runes that you found on yours and Megan and Jake saw on theirs. You know that the runes at the middle are different because they're accepting that transference of energy.
Right.
While they're explaining all of this, can I start working on figuring out how to work on the ship so I can at least get some progress done before we have to leave again?
So you're taking yourself out of the conversation to work on the ship.
Correct.
Okay. So roll use a repair an advanced item. This is going to take hours.
Is this a stressful situation?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. 10.
Yeah, so you will be able to repair it with what you have on hand. In total, it's going to take about 6 hours.
Okay, so we know for sure that the circles that we have seen so far at this facility were the outside points of the triangle.
Yes.
Okay, so are we just roughing it across the planet's surface? Do we want to go to the data center, assuming you will let us go there, Mari, and maybe look for another one of those secret passages or tunnels or whatever?
Yeah, it seems weird to me that it wouldn't at least originate from a part of this facility. It just doesn't really seem like the MO.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something to do with yes, there is another secret passage that's going to lead us back, or if there's some weird distance dilation that happens, or I don't know. I mean, I think our best bet though is to still check the data center. Although it seems like we do still need to be worried about a creature loose somewhere above wherever the forge was. So do we want to start with that before the trail goes cold, or just kind of hope that doesn't come back to bite us, literally or metaphorically?
Looking even at this little diagram and just thinking about what we can actually see out here, is there anything above that spot? I mean, that was a full half-hour walk past the forge. My thought is that that's also just the planet surface.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. I feel like we don't necessarily need to hunt that down, but now that circle is broken, whatever's there can roam. You know what I mean? So, there is a chance it can get to us, whatever it is, whoever it is. So, I don't know. It just, anything straight up from that either has to be more tunnels or something, or it's something else on the surface. There's no facility spots there.
I mean, product testing wasn't on the surface, though.
Right. But, I mean, that's what I mean. But it is a mapped part of the facility, and there's nothing out there that is that.
Yeah. I'm just saying that if they got to be on the same elevation, it probably wouldn't be on the surface, right? It's still got to be subterranean somewhere.
Well, I mean, again, pockmarked planet surface here could be in a crater, in a whatever. I mean, this is some distance. That was a hell of a ride in a tram, even going fast. We've got some elevation we can play with here, unfortunately.
I want to look at Mari. What causes this precipitation on this planet, this sort of molten?
Just the environment. It's always been this way, but it's, like I said, it's been pretty consistent the last 3 years.
Are there volcanoes on the surface of this planet?
Yeah, some.
Oh God, what if one of them's in the base of a volcano?
That does sound like maybe something that Nash would do, yes. Mari, how long have you been staying here at this facility?
A little over 4 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Do you happen to know of any, what sort of creatures are on the planet's surface? I know that the immortals aren't from here, but does anything live out here?
Yes, nothing that comes anywhere near the facilities. They've taken very strong measures to keep them away, keep them safe. I've never seen any of the things that live on the surface, but it was always highly suggested to us not to leave the facility, that we would not survive coming into contact with anything that was able to survive on this planet for very long.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing we are probably looking for.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think I'm on board with the idea that we should start with the data center and see what we can find, see if anything leads away from there. Mari, is that okay? May we come with you and check out your facility?
Jake, why don't you roll influence someone?
Okay. Well, I've rolled trash, so that's a 4.
Can I help him?
Go on.
By like just following up that, you know, we really don't want to mess with this place, and like your son was so kind to me, and we see you're all just doing your jobs, and we just want to get in and out as fast as possible to save lives. And so like whatever you need from us, you can stay in our minds the whole time to see our intent as it plays out. I don't even know if you can do that, but that like we're on the same team here, sort of, you know, we don't want to mess with you, hurt you. We just want to get out like you ordered.
Yeah, roll assist.
Okay. 9.
That'll get me up to a 5. So I'm going to just spin the intuition because this seems essential.
Jake's like, I can't not make friends with someone.
She looks at you all for a long moment and then sighs and nods her head in the direction of the door and turns and starts to head out.
Yay! New friends, I say aloud.
Are you staying to work or are you going with the group?
You've got in about a solid 10 minutes so
Yeah,
far out
yeah.
of your 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be on the show, so I guess I'm going with.
Yeah, so mark down you've got 7 minutes done so far of that 6 hours.
Okay, great.
Roll a d10. That's how many minutes you've got done.
I can't wait until we have done everything and we are like all of the monsters of this planet are trying to like wreck our shit and we can't leave the planet.
You're welcome.
It's going to end up being a race between us fixing the shit before the fucking liaison gets here.
Oh, we still got like 2 days for that.
Yeah, we
It's
have
fine.
days
Yeah.
for that.
And surely Dion was telling the truth about calling a liaison to help you with your business order.
Listen, just because I didn't think of that doesn't mean you have to throw it in my face in front of our friends.
She goes down the stairs and heads into the lounge and goes over and touches a spot on the far wall. A hole opens up in the wall that goes straight down into the ground. It's going to be quite a walk.
I think like she goes over to the welcome center and looks at the computer and is like, "Man, you guys really fucked this
What the hell
computer up."
happened here?
I wasn't privy to this one yet.
She opens up the secret passageway, and instead of it being a roller coaster, this time it's some other amusement park ride. It's a carousel. It's like a bunch of different horses.
Enormous carousel.
I will follow in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any conversation you want to have with her on the way? Because it's about a 3-hour walk.
God damn, they don't have golf carts or anything.
She's not meant to come here.
Wait, sorry. So you walked here? You walked all this distance here?
Yes, I left as soon as I got notification that the workers had gone offline.
Yeah, that would time out then. Wow.
Speaking of, do you have any workers out there, or is it just you and Arky?
Just myself and Arky. We have a repair unit in case anything breaks down. But other than that,
So everyone else at this facility, are they all drones? Like, are you and Arky the only, I guess, beings here?
yes, it's a somewhat recent change, about 3 years ago,
You said you've been here about 4 years, right?
Mhm.
Where were you before that?
on my home planet.
What was it like?
Not like this. It was much cooler. It's mostly water.
It was so cool. Sick as hell, bro.
Sick as hell.
Everyone had sunglasses.
I want to go there.
So what happened to 3 years ago so that you and Arky are now the only non-drones here?
I'm not sure. They just decided to automate the entire place, with the exception of the communications array. It's difficult to automate something like that with any kind of precision, trusting AI to make appointments and make judgment calls based off of a buyer's history and things like that. They just didn't feel comfortable doing it.
So who is it that you communicate with?
The buyers, the owners of the company.
Gotcha.
I can't help but wonder if our special friend had anything to do with this change, setting up all of these circles.
Oh, that could be.
When you say the owners of the company, who is that?
Oh, I don't know. I just report to the Alkali Corporation.
Does the name Grigori Nash mean anything to you?
No.
Binari?
No,
Okay.
Mercury. Does that name mean anything to you?
it's a metal,
Okay.
but also a liquid.
Yeah. I think it's just 3 hours of Jeff and Eddie.
I was waiting for one more, and I was going to go, well, that's my son's father.
Jeff
Jeff and Eddie.
That's how my
Hell
species
yeah.
works, baby.
They do
Oh.
everything together, and
Our DNA is 3 spirals instead of 2. One set of eyes are his father's, one set of eyes are his mother's, and
Nice.
then his hair is his other father's.
I mean, honestly, I think a lot of this would just be like asking about where she came from, like talking about our world. I mean, now that she's read our minds, she might know that we are extraplanar entities.
Yeah, I think that is an element that she does not grasp right away. That as you're talking about your planet, she's like, I've never heard of Earth. What solar system is it located in?
The
Soul.
sun one.
It's just called Soul. We named it because we're pretty self-centered.
I mean, honestly, yes. Space travel, we've only traveled within our own solar system. So,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I know that doesn't sound very impressive to like people who like live in space, but that's where we're at.
I mean, technically, we all live in space, but so what do you do for fun?
I play with my son, watch movies, play games.
Man, I wish we were here long enough for me to watch a movie from this world. How great would that be? What's your favorite one? Can you just give me like a quick synopsis? We're here for 3 hours.
Yeah. My favorite one is probably Fire on Ragnar 17. It's about this man who comes out of retirement because his planet is on fire, and he has dedicated himself ever since his children and wife were burned to death in a fire that he thought he had controlled. It was out of control. It had buried itself deep beneath the surface of the planet and reemerged years later. And he's retired, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. And he finds out he has an estranged daughter that he didn't know about, and she lives on that planet. And so he is brought in by the Galactic Council to rescue all of the people from this planet.
Well, don't stop now. It sounds like it's getting good.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to spoil anything in case you get a chance to watch it.
You know, I think I've seen that one actually.
And then I recount the entire plot of Jurassic Park. Does any of this sound familiar?
That sounds like the place that I work.
It does.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you might. I thought you might like it. It's my
Well, that
favorite
didn't
movie.
end well for them.
It ended okay.
For the dinosaurs, it sounds like, but not for the people.
Well,
Only the people that mattered.
well, if you think about it, the ones that ended up respecting the dinosaurs, they lived.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The ones that understood the what they were doing, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that the droids that all died, those were the people in the movie that died, and I'm this Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I don't know. Based on what she does, she's more like the Samuel L. You know what? I'm going to stop.
Yeah, don't let her be Jeff Goldblum. Don't take that away from someone.
Yep.
I sure feel like I should have something that matters to ask or converse about.
What does this pathway look like? Are we like just straight up into like a dugout tunnel like Tass went through before, or is this like structured?
It's structured. There are tons of cables running through here. It seems like the maintenance hatch that you were not able to access before.
Okay. How far underground do we think we are?
Maybe 15 feet.
I'm just trying to think of like when we get to the point where we think might be the distance between the two spots. Like we know it's somewhere in between where we left and the data center.
Uh-huh.
If like at that point there's any sort of like access panels or some sort of exit that we might find an entrance to where we're trying to get to.
Why don't you roll survey the scene? We're going to assume that this first half hour has passed with the description of the movie and Jurassic Park. Yeah, you kind of get to that area where you think this is about the distance that it would be.
We're only half an hour in.
Don't worry, there are several more Jurassic Park movies. I am prepared. 5.
No.
Can I assist with the time that I've spent like examining the hidden panels and stuff in the Welcome Center? Like,
Oh,
I'm,
sure.
I'm giving more detailed eye of like what to look for.
Yeah, and you're like checking your pedometer to see how many steps it's been.
Yeah. My pedometer that I famously, that we've established repeatedly that I wear.
Jake
Accessory.
is big on steps.
It's one of the ones that they give you for like the presidential fitness test in school. It's just clipped on my belt always. I mean 8, but still not enough.
Oh, this is so important. I think I've got to spend intuition.
All right, you get a hold too.
Is there something important that I'm missing?
You don't find anything that seems like it leads out of the tunnel. But you do hear, coming from above you, the constant sound of something that Tass heard in the moments before he woke up. The sound of this molten rain hitting the ground, and it doesn't stop or shift. It is just constant, a constant drumming.
Would I know anything that's related to this?
So I think going back to the conversations that you've had, the only thing that clicks in your mind as you try to connect this to something is that Mari told you that this storm has been consistent and hasn't seemed to move in almost 3 years.
Okay, so then at the beginning of The Lost World, there's this little girl and she's going out and then she's feeding bits of her sandwich to all these like little compies, right? But then they start, wait, hold on. Do you guys hear this? This like sound, like the rain or something?
Yes.
This is like about how far it's been from the Welcome Center, right? This is where the circle should be. I don't see any way for us to get up there, but like this is pretty consistent. And like Mari, didn't you say that this had been going on for like years now?
Yes, this particular storm came in about 3 years ago. It's very large. It covers almost this entire area and covers part of the communication center and hasn't moved.
Did it first show up around the time that this facility was otherwise automated besides you?
Yeah.
So it's a constructed storm.
Yeah, or like a creature causing the storm, like an elemental.
Yeah, and if it's like trapped here with a circle, then it wouldn't be able to go anywhere. It would just stay in the same place.
Well, the scope of that circle that you just described, Mari, that sounds bigger than what we've encountered so far, doesn't it?
So what if the storm is not the creature that Nash is siphoning power from? It's just a way to protect the circle that something else is in.
Or whatever is in the circle is creating the storm that spreads out around the source.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Either of those.
Wait, you said that the storm hits the data center, right?
Yes, just the edge of it where Arky's room is.
Okay, well, if it reaches that far, that's still about, 2.5 hours from here? So that if there was a creature creating the storm stuck here where we are now, assuming it would be the center of the storm, that should have completely encapsulated the Welcome Center. And it didn't. So whatever's in this circle, I don't think is making the storm.
Yeah, so that would have to mean that the very edge of the storm gets to this circle. So its source is somewhere else, is probably not the creature. But maybe, as Kim said, yes, this is just cover. Like maybe by putting the circle right on the edge of the storm, it's not impossible to get to, but it's difficult to get to. Like somebody who was ready for it could make their way into the storm, do their thing, and out. But somebody who's not ready for it would get got.
Yeah. You said that we were like 15 feet below ground, as far as we can tell?
Yeah.
So does that track with like where product testing the big circle was? And I guess we don't know like where Tass was in relation to the big circle, but like would it be reasonable to surmise that the large circle is above us, like on the surface of the planet?
Or did product testing feel like it was deeper than this and we would have to assume that the main circle is below us?
Yeah, product testing seemed deeper.
And if product testing felt lower, maybe there's a smaller circle level with where Tass was?
From what Tass experienced walking out of the barracks and walking uphill underground, you still think that right now you would be lower than he was, but he also wasn't at the surface, so 15 feet above you seems too high.
Okay, so where Tass found his circle is above where we are right now, but wouldn't be, as far as we know, the surface of the planet. But
Correct.
Also where Jake and Megan found the circle in product testing is below where we are now.
Yeah, it's way too low.
Way below. Okay.
Right. So, okay, if we know that product testing was way lower, like I don't know how far down we were, Jake, but it was pretty far down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Tass, you found your little circle, right? There was nothing in there, nothing drawing power from it. But if we think there's a creature maybe above on the surface and then a big circle below in product testing, maybe there's a smaller circle that lines up with your tunnel circle.
Oh, God. Yeah, right. I've been thinking about this, I think, backwards because, of course, yeah, so product testing was way below where we have to assume a bigger one was connected to the little one, so they can't be the two on the same plane.
No, the product testing can't be level with anything, I think. But if there was a smaller circle above it, that could match up with your tunnel circle, and then there's another one right here, and we're only 15 feet below the surface? So if there's one in between here and the surface, like at the bottom of a crater, like there's all this stuff going up there. We saw there was pockmarks everywhere when we landed. That would put it below the surface of the planet, but above where we are now.
And it would make sense with this repeated thunderous impact above us. Did the top of the product testing chamber, was the ceiling about at the level we're talking about?
The level of where Tass found something and
where maybe a little bit above our heads would be?
Jake, just give me a straight head roll.
Ooh, boxcars.
Yes, I will say absolutely that hearing Tass describe where this is, the diagram that you all drew, and knowing how far you are below ground right now, and Megan's idea of a crater above you, yes, those three planes all align. And just as a reminder to those listening, because it's been literally since Season 1, Episode 4, since we really talked about this in any kind of depth. I guess we did touch on it a bit when Tass kind of went on his solo adventure to find the other circles. But the spell ultimately needs 3 circles that are the same size on the same plane for the spell to work. And there are circles that can be placed above or below the active important circle that sole purpose is to, make a larger or smaller version of the main active circle to accomplish that goal of the 3 circles of the same size on the same plane.
We did it! We figured it out. Let's go home, gang. Let's get out of here.
So, okay, if the third matching circle is in a crater, then either it's holding something that it's drawing power from, or there's an even larger circle on the surface that something else is in. But at least we know where the main ones are.
Okay, well, do we need to continue going to the data center now? Because we just need to get to the surface.
Well, maybe there's some way at the data center that we can figure out how to turn off this storm. Something is manifesting it. Something has been keeping it going constantly for 3 years. And if it was done as a way to protect or hide this third circle, yeah, we have to get to the surface, but how are we going to get through?
I don't know. Just the idea of figuring out a way to endure the storm seemed a lot simpler in my head than finding a way to deactivate the storm.
Also, keep in mind, if we're going to try to fly out to this, we have to worry about the, ground-to-air defense system as well. So we would have to walk this in the storm.
Also, it's going to take a long time to fix the ship, actually.
Yeah, like 5 hours, 53-ish minutes.
Approximately,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Mari, is there a way that we could get, access so that our ship wouldn't be seen as a threat and we wouldn't have to worry about being shot down?
No.
Okay.
Yes, but I still have to live here after you leave, and if I give your ship clearance, I'm probably getting fired.
What if you come join our menagerie of NPCs back in our world?
I've seen them in your mind's eye.
I'm not impressed.
I'll pass.
I've seen them. They're rad. You have a deal.
Is there a way that we could turn them off without you being implicated as having helped us?
I think it would still result in me losing my job.
Mm-hmm.
On account of letting us through security one way or another.
Correct. Either gross negligence or incompetence, either way.
I might be able to whip up something that can travel us along the surface and keep us protected from the storm.
Oh, this is just so frustrating. It's right here. It's like a couple of feet right above our heads.
I'm just thinking this is my moment as I look up at the ceiling.
Yeah, with this ridiculous gun. Wow. Never has a moment been purer than this. I want it to happen.
So anyway, I started blasting.
I think we might
Shoot that
perish.
ceiling.
The tunnel instantly fills with poison gas from the surface.
And fire rain.
Yay.
Again, this is not stone. So the idea of Tass shooting through the ceiling to the surface of the planet
Is pretty sick, I know.
Really, all we have to do is dig high enough to where it's not quite to where it breaks the surface, plant a delayed explosive, get out of the tunnel.
She turns and she's like, I left my son alone. You're welcome to stay here or come visit me. Goodbye.
Thank you.
I think there's this whole other section that we haven't even checked out yet, and who knows what we're going to learn that might help us. We don't have a ship that works, and if we had one that worked, we'd have to fly it through basically like meteors and missile defense systems. So I don't see how that's even an option right now.
What if we just go rig up some, surface suits? Like, we can walk our way out from the hangar. It's a half-hour walk either way, or thereabouts.
Can you describe this storm a bit more? Like, I am...
Meteor shower with the consistency of fire rain. Like, it's that dense. So it's not like... It's...
That to me does not imply walkable.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, if we think we could dodge these on foot and, like, step around where we think they're going to impact, sure, but it sounds a bit more intense than that.
Yeah.
That's why I kept thinking, like, if this has been constructed, we have to get rid of it.
It's like on Mythbusters when they tried to run through the rain and just got wetter.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help our issue with the fire rain, but Jake, when you were talking to those smugglers, how did they get past the security system? Is that something that we could replicate?
They just said they had a device on their ship that somebody on their team back home made, and it had like a timer on it, I think. Like, they were in a hurry to get out before it stopped protecting them and they got shot down anyway.
I mean, I could try and put something like that together.
But also, our ship is the only way that we get back to our home. If it gets ripped up in fire rain, we're stuck here.
Well, and as Mari just said, if we pull that off, she's fired one way or another. So not that her job is necessarily as important as the lives of billions, but...
No, I mean, think about it. Her job is still to make these armies for Alkali Corp.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, but she's a single mom,
I know.
You got to do what you got to do out here.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Maybe we go to data center. Maybe there's something to figure out as far as a trick that we're not thinking about. Like, maybe there is a hack or something that doesn't necessarily get Mari in trouble. She's walked away, right? You said she's walked away.
Yeah.
She's long since left us. Cool. But if we can't figure that out, maybe we do have to figure out a way to trick the system, and maybe Mari gets in trouble, but that might be a price we have to pay. Then we head back. We spend the time fixing the ship. I might be able to put something together that is going to shield it, literally, from the impacts of the meteors.
I mean, there's energy shields around the buildings. Maybe we can look into how those are constructed and base it off of that.
Okay. This seems like a working plan. Go to data, see if we can figure out anything new. If not, see if we can figure out how to bypass the security measures. Come back, tinker, 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 fly out, destroy circle.
I mean, worst case, we just go back to Tass's tunnel and dig straight until we hit the other ones. We'll just carve our way through. It'll be great.
Just dig-dug this thing.
Yeah.
Works for me. And I want to take out my thermal knife and just make a little like X on the floor right here just to like mark the spot.
It doesn't.
Well, I'm just slapping at it.
We talked about everything that's running through here. It seems like this is a very heavily protected area because of all the data wires and everything that runs through here.
Well, this answers another problem that we were thinking about of just trying to dig up through this.
How is the knife stymied? Like, is there a very thick material over the data wires, or is there some kind of like energy shield protecting this area?
Just the metal when he tries to carve the floor, it doesn't give.
Okay.
I hand him another candy cigarette.
Whatever works, and I will try to make another little mark.
Oh, with the chalk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Onward.
Yep.
We run to catch... No, I'm just kidding.
She's running.
Mari!
To stay away.
Mari, stop!
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
She's throwing caltrips.
So 2.5 hours pass. And you all arrive at a door.
I knock.
There's a brief moment, and then you see a small camera above the door turn and look at you, and then the door slides open.
All right. Head on through.
You walk into this first room, and it's just a large metal square. And as the four of you come into the room, the door closes behind you, and a spray starts to come out of the walls. It is decontaminating you. It stops, and then the door at the other end opens.
Proceed.
You go through the door, and there is a 3-foot-tall kid standing there. He has silver skin, a bald head, flat ears that are stuck to the side of his head, 4 black pupilless eyes, and again, these what look like gills where his mouth should be. Oh, hey, Tass.
Hey, Arky.
My mom said maybe you were going to come visit.
And so we have.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hey, dude.
Hi.
Thanks for looking out for our friend Tass. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I petted his
Dog.
and I ate some of the things from his fridge.
I love doing that.
They're my 2 favorite things.
Is your mom around?
Yeah. What do you guys want to do?
We don't really know. We need to look around and...
Play a game, or do you want to read a book, or...
Oh.
Yeah, I want to pull out my tarot deck, which I imagine is just a large set of playing cards right now. I can teach you French tarot if you want.
What?
Card game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to my room.
Sounds good, man.
And he starts leading you all through this hallway. There are 3 doors on the right, 3 doors on the left, and he goes into the first door on the left.
Oh, no, like I went through, remember the door? I went through the door, and I like saw through your eyes, I think, for a second before being violently repelled out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, what are all these other doors, Arky? Where do these all go?
Other bedrooms, but they're empty. Well, except that one. That one goes to a hallway where Mom works.
Okay, I think we're gonna walk around and check the place out. Go say hi to your mom while Kim shows you this game.
Okay.
Have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, let's head towards where Mari is.
Yeah, the 3 of you head out of this room down to the end of this hallway and open the last door on the right. And there is an enormous room here, a large circular room that has a oval desk in the middle of it with a hole in the center. And Mari is sitting at the center in this hole. And there are computer monitors all around her and 2 giant banks of terminals on both walls. And she spins in her chair and looks back at you. Welcome.
Wow, this is so impressive.
Thanks. I work here 12 hours a day.
Oof a doof. You need to join a union.
Don't I know it?
Does it seem like any of this stuff can be interacted with, like by us, or is it kind of exclusively from the console area Mari's in?
Yeah, it seems like it's all controlled from her desk.
Well, we're trying to find out some way that we can safely navigate the surface. Would that be anything that's in your databases here, Mari?
Well, I mean, safely navigating the surface isn't that difficult as long as you've got some kind of life support system and you stay out of the storm.
Are there life support systems on site?
I've got one for myself and Arky.
How difficult would those be to manufacture? Or something that would do a similar job?
I have no idea.
Could I take a look at the ones that you have and just get an idea of how they work?
Sure. You're not going to break it or anything.
No.
Okay.
Probably not. Unless I have to roll dice, then maybe.
Oh, you're going to have to roll dice.
Oh, cool. Probably not. Well, that's not true either. Actually, I will do my best not to.
Roll influence someone.
With a -8.
Yeah, with a -1.
3.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable. Those are the only systems we have in case something goes wrong. I'd rather you didn't.
Fair enough.
Is there anything in the database that might help us weather the storm, assuming we had a way to stay safe on the surface in the first place?
I mean, the database is really just all of the information on clients and the types of creatures that are built here, emails, accounts, things like that. It's all routed to the company.
You don't have anything that monitors the planet, the atmosphere, the weather?
I had some things that monitored. Ever since the storm arrived, I've had to bounce it off of one of the planetary nebulas. And so the readings are a little imprecise. And she reaches over to her console and she flips a switch. The front wall and the ceiling all roll back pretty quickly. And you can see the edge of the storm and the surrounding landscape. This used to be kind of a beautiful view, but now that the storms come in, I keep it closed most of the time because staring at that too long didn't feel like it did great things for my psyche.
Can I, study the storm, having a direct look at it from down here and see if I have any idea of what is causing it or if it could be messed with?
Yeah, why don't you roll survey the scene?
7.
Could I try to help just as we're looking at this, talking to him about the storms that we saw Nash manufacture up at the North Pole and just kind of talking about the theory behind it and the things that we're seeing?
Yeah, roll assist.
Okay. 14.
Reroll your lowest.
Oh, hell yeah. That brings me up to an 11.
All right, you get a hold too.
Is there something important that I'm missing?
As you're standing here inside of the communications center looking out of this giant window at the storm, you remember her telling you that it has arrived in the last 3 years and not moved. And just off in the distance, you can see that turquoise light of the planetary nebula. And some energy comes off of it and moves through the atmosphere above the area where this storm is. And for a brief moment, as this energy passes through, you can see the shimmering outline of a flying structure above the storm. a structure that is invisible.
Flying how?
The storm hasn't moved in 3 years, so if this structure is generating the storm, it must be in synchronous orbit with the planet.
What can help me?
As you're eyeballing this area of the sky where you have seen this invisible structure and looking back in the direction of the tower that's now about 3 hours away, you realize that your trajectory into the planet came so close to it, you probably almost hit it on your entry into the atmosphere, which means if you flew back along that same path, you could fly your ship directly to it.
The Crit Show is a Crit Show Studios production, edited and produced by Brandon Wentz with music by Jake Purley. You can find more information about us at thecritshowpodcast.com. To keep up to date with upcoming live shows, contests, and other special events, follow us at The Crit Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For even more weekly content, join us at patreon.com/thecritShow.